Coming up this morning on Insight News.
We'll tell you about some local landmark stores that are getting the boot.
And also, Insight News showcases a young black entrepreneur.
So I'm looking on.
Back to camera 2. After the open. Video. All right, cue.
Good morning and welcome to Insight News. I'm Joshua Bolden.
I'm Kelsey Semien.
And I'm Jessica Chavers. Thank you for joining us. A group of store owners in the Memphis neighborhood are forced to move elsewhere to keep their business from losing their businesses. For more, here's Insight's Christian Hudson.
The Whatever store, located on the corner of Highland and Southern, is one of quite a few stores on Highland that are either moving or going out of business. The store has been at this location for over 40 years. They have earned letters of appreciation for being strong contributors to the community.
We've been here 42 years, since 1971. I started it with 3 other people. Now there's 2 of us still here. And, well, we've always been the best shop in town.
I'm standing here in front of the Whatever store in the Submarine shop, where this entire building will be bought out by a different company that wishes to set up a new McDonald's. But in fact, there's already a McDonald's right across the street here. Mr. Gary Geyser has been the owner of the Whatever store since it first opened in 1971. The neighboring stores such as the Submarine restaurant and the Meat Factory are also locations that are being affected by this change. In fact, the Meat Factory has been around for almost 100 years.
They probably want us still here because I got landlords bringing a couple of leases to us to look at. So within this neighborhood, within a mile, we'd probably be able to stay in.
The owner has tried to renew the lease but did not have any luck because the whole building will be bought by a different company that wishes to bring new companies over. But luckily, this store is able to move, unlike the other stores on Highland that have to shut down for good. Christian Hudson, Insight News.
The Unified School Board, in charge of merging the Shelby County and Memphis City schools, has revised a list of schools picked to close. The Commercial Appeal reported the board will consider a scaled-down version of a task force recommendation at a special meeting Thursday afternoon. The Transition Planning Commission first suggested closing 21 schools to raise the performance rates of others and save taxpayers some $20 million per year.
The workforce has been an ongoing issue since the earlier days. When it comes to gays, lesbian, and transgenders, the issue of equality arises even more. Insight's Brianna Board has more.
The issue of equality amongst gay and lesbian couples in the workforce has been a huge controversial topic. The local AFSCME chapter hosted an event supporting a non-discrimination ordinance. Their plan is to make the ordinance all-inclusive for the city of Memphis. Chad Johnson, the executive director for AFSCME, stated, "There should be no discrimination in the workforce. Where I was raised, equality is never a sign." Other speakers at the event were a transgender by the name of Ayana Hale, who also spoke in support of the ordinance. Some think that you have to work in a specific environment in order to be accepted.
They told me I wasn't mechanically inclined to do the job, and because of that, I've always had to prove myself, and I've always come in and proved, and then I showed them I could do the job.
One 2011 study found an estimated 9 million, or approximately 4% of the U.S. population, is lesbian, gay, or bisexual, and 0.3% is transgender. A recent study showed that 27.1% of all lesbian, gay, bisexual employees experience discrimination, and 27.1% of lesbian, gay, bisexual employees experience harassment.
In the beauty industry, so within our industry, it's pretty prevalent, to have homosexuals in that environment. So I think it's kind of expected, and so therefore I haven't really experienced any discrimination.
There are many companies who abide by the Non-Discrimination Acts against gay and lesbians, ranging from grocery stores to shopping centers, and most importantly, beauty salons. The AFSCME chapter plans to put this non-discrimination ordinance in place throughout the entire city of Memphis. Reporting in East Memphis, I'm Brianna Boyd for Insight News.
When we come back, Insight News has an interview with a young man making strides in the world of business. Stay tuned.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally.
Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls. But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys know statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to make sure your child is protected.
A full life measured in seats starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are the #1 killer of children 1 through 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. That single ember can ignite and destroy your home or even your community. You can't control where that ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
As the year comes to a close, Memphis has been actively promoting and engaging students to become involved in entrepreneurship. The city of Memphis has been awarded $1 million in order to build a minority development agency, which will help local businesses grow and become successful. The Center of Entrepreneurship and Innovation, located on the U of M campus, hosted free educational programs inspiring students to become entrepreneurs.
Students at the University of Memphis are engaging more in entrepreneurship. Insight's Brianna Boyd is here with a professional who has been very successful in that field.
Hi, I'm Brianna Boyd, and I'm sitting here with the young entrepreneur himself, Mr. Marcus Doris. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good, thanks for asking. So we know that you went to the University of Memphis and you graduated there. Now tell me, how did you get started in the entrepreneurial business?
Want to own my own. I never want to be involved in corporate America. I remember taking several classes in school discussing downsizing, where they would hire people to come in, hire somebody like myself to come in, find ways to save the company money. And that's something I didn't want to do because I knew eventually they would hire somebody else to come in and downsize me. So I never wanted to get caught up into the corporate America structure of trying to save money, trying to get a buck.
You currently serve as the CFO of the only Black-owned animal clinic in Memphis, which is Pope Animal Clinic.
Correct.
What inspired you to open up your own animal clinic?
Well, me and my partner, Dr. Greg Shaw, we decided to open up a business because animals need a voice too. We always had a softness in our heart for pets, wanted to make sure that pets were taken care of. Coming back to Memphis, he actually went to school in Tuskegee in Alabama. He wanted to come back to Memphis, wanted to leave our mark in Memphis. So it was a no-brainer. We didn't want to move to another city and try to do it where there's other African-American veterinary clinics. We wanted to be in our city, be the first, pave the way, and so on and so forth.
So aside of the animal clinic, you've opened up restaurants. Right now you're the owner of Evergreen Grill, which is an Italian restaurant. What motivated you to get into the restaurant business?
Kind of funny story. Restaurant business is always something I've always wanted to do as well. I want to give people a nice, affordable, great place to eat. Not just where you have to spend a lot of money, but when you come in with your wife, if you want to spend $20, you want to spend $100. You have the option in my restaurant. You can come in, have a great time, great atmosphere, incredible neighborhood. We're in the Evergreen District, which is a very historic district in Memphis, right behind Overland Park, right in Overland Park, right behind the zoo. And like I said, just give people a great place to have dinner, lunch, and all the above.
Okay, well, Marcus, we do appreciate everything you're doing for the community, and I thank you so much for your time.
Not a problem.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Kelsey, and back to you.
When we come back, we'll tell you about the 40th anniversary that has every woman athlete thankful. Stay tuned.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally. Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands? My son has lots of dolls.
But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Did you guys know statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to make sure your child is protected.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are the #1 killer of children 1 through 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. That single ember can ignite and destroy your home or even your community. You can't control where that ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
Women have always been a part of athletics, but 2012 marks an anniversary that every woman will enjoy celebrating. Title IX was implemented in 1972 to prevent sexual discrimination at colleges and universities across the country. There are 9 women's teams on campus at the University of Memphis. This wasn't always the case.
Honestly, it's a great opportunity that they have here, and I always hope that these women don't take that for granted, because it's something that's been worked for a long time.
Today, Title IX has evolved into so much more. What started as general education law has developed into a life changer for young women. The U of M has sent 2 former basketball players to the WNBA and has seen the women's soccer team win 5 consecutive conference titles. Success on the field can be very fulfilling, but graduating from college prepared for the real world is even better.
The measures taken to keep football players safe have evolved over the years. This is due in part to the sport changing and the serious risk of fatal injuries. According to a surgeon association, football is the 3rd most dangerous sport after diving and cycling. Injuries are not something that people like to talk about, but proper fitting helmets along with proper coaching from an earlier age contribute to a safer experience. 21-year-old U of M student never thought that playing the sport he loved would render him paralyzed.
I've been stuck with that a few times. Injury, it hurt because that was my, like I said, football's my #1 love, but, they always say have a backup plan, and if football wasn't there, I was always book smart, so.
Information, visit www.unc.edu.
I'm Joshua Bolden. Jessica Chavers, Kelsey, Semien, and the entire team here at Insight News. Have a great day.
So the lottery.
I didn't win.
And I'm so upset.
I thought there was a shift in the Insight News building.
I felt a shift when I bought my ticket. I'm very superstitious, so I went and
Coming up, find out how the University of Memphis is helping to keep its campus safe.
And also, we'll break down the Tigers and Grizzlies who were in action this week. Stay tuned. Inside News is coming your way.
Good morning and welcome to Insight News. I'm Raven McClain.
And I'm Christian Hudson. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Would you like to have your voice heard across the city of Memphis? Insight's Grant Milner has more on how to make that happen.
Broadcasting live from the University of Memphis since 1979, WMR is the only exclusive jazz radio station in the Memphis area. The Jazz Lover offers a mix of jazz as well as blues, Latino, and even some new age. The station also broadcasts all Memphis Tiger home football and basketball games conducted by students. However, professionalism is the major focus of U92 and General Manager Malvin Massey.
We always call WMR a foot in the door because it's very difficult to get into the media business, and they always want to know if you have any experience. And usually you go in there to get experience, and they don't want to let you in unless you have some, and this is the place to get the experience.
The station was founded when Southwestern at Memphis, now Rhodes College, sold one of its 2 radio licenses to Memphis State University. The radio station became WMR in 1994 when the school became the University of Memphis. The all-jazz programming has been true throughout the 33 years of broadcasting.
I think the most important thing is getting the real world experience, getting into the studio, being out there at the games, on the court, and at the field at the Liberty Bowl, which is not only just an honor and a privilege, but it gives you the real feel of actually being out there and doing the work.
WMR is the only Memphis area station to provide a jazz-only format. The station has gathered a wide following by playing a mix that every jazz lover can enjoy. Come check out the station. Jazz fan or not, you might just surprise yourself and join the U92 team. Today, the station portrays the best jazz 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. WMR has expanded with online capabilities, giving listeners the option of hearing their favorite music on the go. The Jazz Lover gives most students their first gig at an FM station, but more importantly helps build a foundation for a successful career after college. In the University District, I'm Grant Milner, Inside News.
To some, diversion is a mere slap on the wrist for criminal offenders, but others are wondering if it only leads to more criminal behavior in the future. Take the Terrence Thomas case, for instance. Thomas was placed on diversion for child abuse and is now charged with killing his wife, Karen Thomas.
Diversion, the way I used to describe it, is it's a special kind of probation for first-time offenders. And the upside of this kind of probation versus regular probation is that at the end of the period, the end of supervision, it comes off your record.
Thomas is currently held without bond. He last appeared in court on November 19th.
In the case of Mr. Thomas, Judge Scan, after doing her investigation, having a hearing, she decided that parenting classes and anger management were appropriate for him. And looking at the facts of the case that he was put on diversion for, that sounds like a pretty typical and well thought through decision.
Thomas is currently held without bond. He last appeared in court on November 19th. Well, it's getting to that time of year where the nights come sooner and last longer. But the University of Memphis has taken measures to make sure its students and faculty are safe year-round. Insight's Greg Williams has more.
College students and faculty have a lot on their minds already. The last thing they need to worry about is whether or not they're safe while they're on campus. Fortunately, at the University of Memphis, they're pretty well protected. The U of M has a variety of safety features that can be used in the event of an emergency. One of these features are these campus safety phones, or code blue phones, which are spread out all over campus and in parking lots. Calls that are made on these phones are sent directly to U of M police services for assistance. But as the years went by and technology grew, the University of Memphis kept up with these changes in technology to keep the campus safer. Now, these emergency phones were first put into place when cell phone use wasn't as popular as it is today. With the cell phone use and smartphone use at an all-time high, the University of Memphis is using this means to send out emergency messages and alerts to students and faculty. In 2007, the U of M unleashed Tiger Text. This is a messaging service for which students and faculty can sign up to receive emergency alerts and messages pertaining to campus crimes, inclement weather, and school closings sent right to their cell phone. Chelsea Boozer, editor-in-chief at the Daily Helmsman, had this to say about the importance of being up to date with technology as it relates to campus safety.
Be more informed of what's going on, which is really important to our safety. For example, they just implemented this semester a new thing where something pops up on the computer as soon as an emergency text or email is sent out, which is really good.
And with a new kind of technology quickly on the rise, social media, the U of M has implemented it to promote safety on campus. U of M Police Director Bruce Harbor shared his thoughts.
We now have the capability to send to people who follow the university on either Facebook or Tiger Text when we send a Tiger Text message via outlets. And I think that's going to be one of the waves of the future because so many people now, including me, tend to get a lot of our breaking news on, for example, Twitter.
Reporting from the University of Memphis, I'm Greg Williams, Insight News.
The Memphis Tigers and Grizzlies were in action this weekend, and we'll break down the games as well as give you an update of the NHL lockout when we return from break. Keep it locked.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally. Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands? My son has lots of dolls.
But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys know statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to make sure your child is protected.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are the #1 killer of children 1 through 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. That single ember can ignite and destroy your home or even your community. You can't control where that ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
The Memphis Tiger football team wrapped up their season with a win on Saturday night. The Tigers defeated the Southern Miss Golden Eagles 42-24, putting together their best and highest offensive performance of the year. They finished their season with a record of 4-8. This is the highest in total for the team since 2008. Next year, the Tigers will move to the Big East Conference, joined by fellow newcomers Boise State, San Diego State, and Indiana State. And in Tiger basketball news, Memphis are off to a slow start this year. After losing 2 of the 3 games for the Battle of Atlantis, the first 2 games against the VCU Rams and the Minnesota Golden Gophers showed flaws in the Tiger defense when they could not contain the hot shooting teams. VCU won by 13 over the Tigers, and Minnesota came out with a 9-point win, led by Andre Hollins' 41 points. But Memphis did not leave the competition empty-handed. They took down the Northern Iowa Panthers 52-47 in their final game.
Switching over to professional sports, the Memphis Grizzlies are adding to their remarkable start of the NBA season. The Grizz, who sit at 11-2 for the year, have the best record in the league thus far. The team has defeated a lot of the NBA powerhouses, including the Los Angeles Lakers, Oklahoma City Thunder, and the reigning NBA champions, the Miami Heat. The Grizz are led by forward Rudy Gay, who is averaging 20 points per game. The defense has also been outstanding with Mike Conley Jr. and Tony Allen, averaging 2 steals per game apiece. The Grizzlies have lost only 1 game at home this year, and 4 of their next 6 games are in the friendly confines of the Groundhouse. And in hockey news, the 2012 National Hockey League season remains in jeopardy. The NHL rejected another offer made by the Players Union last week. The offer included a 50-50 split of hockey-related revenue to take place over the next 5 years. This year's NHL All-Star Game and regular season games have been canceled through December 14th. The players and owners may seek to bring in a professional mediator to resolve their differences. This is the 3rd lockout in the NHL since 1994. When we come back, find out some of the benefits of studying abroad. We'll be right back.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally. Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls.
But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys know statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to make sure your child is protected.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are the #1 killer of children 1 through 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. That single ember can ignite and destroy your home or even your community. You can't control where that ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
One of the best ways to learn new languages and explore different cultures is to experience it firsthand. Studying Spanish? Why not go to Spain? German? Try Berlin. There are more than 100 programs in 50 different countries available to students at the University of Memphis. The campus has a student population of over 20,000, but only 1% of them have traveled to other countries. The Study Abroad office wants to see that number go to 10%. The Director of Study Abroad, Rebecca Lauman, says it's very beneficial to education.
I think you can't get a well-rounded education except if you've studied abroad. I mean, living with people from a different culture, getting to understand the reasons why people do certain things, understanding a country and its politics, all these you get from studying abroad.
Taking a trip to a foreign country can be expensive, but financial aid is available. The Tennessee Hope Scholarship also has money available to go abroad. And if you are interested, go to the U of M Study Abroad website for more details. The balcony where Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. took his last breath is now open to the public. The balcony of the Lorraine Motel where Dr. King was assassinated is now an open landmark. Museum visitors can now step foot on the spot where the civil rights leader was killed for the first time since the National Civil Rights Museum opened 21 years ago. Visitors may only be able to stand in that spot for a limited time. The balcony is likely to close once renovations to the main section of the museum are finished. Well, as we conclude our final broadcast of the year, our producers would like to thank our professor, Dr. Joe Hayden, and our director, William Johnson, for all of their hard work in the control room.
And we also like to thank our assistant director, Ben Hill, our editor, Ryan Davis, and our engineer, Michael Rhodes, for their hard work as well.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining us for Insight News. I'm Raven McClain.
And I'm Christian Hudson. Take care, Memphis. Girl, that lottery.
I
No,
know.
the lottery.